Welcome to iPad Pros, the show all about using your iPad to be productive and get work done. I'm Tim Chaten, host of the show.
I was wondering that too, because it's not the Series 8 Ultra, it's the Apple Watch Ultra. So is it going to get updated next year? Yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see what they do. I could definitely see it being kind of like the SE, where it's an alternate model and it's selling to people who don't necessarily need all the newest features. They need something that's sturdy and everything. So maybe it's not as imperative for them to update it every year. I don't know. The product's like 4 hours old at this point, so it's hard to say for sure.
Welcome back to another episode of iPad Pros. This one is a bit of a special edition covering Apple's September event regarding the new iPhone 14s, the Apple Watch Series 8 and Ultra and SE2, and the new AirPods Pro 2. So, not really much of iPad stuff, but it's just a special episode with my friend Matt Birchler, where we kind of dive in deep as far as what Apple announced at the September 2022 event. As a reminder, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/iPadPros or by subscribing in Apple Podcasts. And with that, here's my discussion with Matt all about Apple's September event. Enjoy. Welcome back to the podcast, Matt.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's an exciting day in Apple land, you know.
It's our second Apple Christmas of the year.
It really is. And we're gonna get the iPad Mac one next month, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
kind of the third, sometimes forgotten one, but tons of love for that one. But this is the big one.
This is fun. I mean, I'm a big Apple Watch person, as are you. So this is that's what I look forward to every year, just to see what happens with Apple Watch, because it's weird because like everyone's like, oh, it's iPhone Day. No, it's Apple Watch Day, guys.
Yeah, Apple Watch is kind of the vegetables you have to eat before you get to the iPhone main course at the event. But I do agree with you. This was a super interesting year for the Apple Watch, especially.
It really was, yeah.
Different from most years. It's like, okay, next series number, that's it. But like, they had 3 new watches today.
3 new watches, yeah. Kind of wild. And that's where we'll start, I think. They're also AirPods Pro, which looked great. But yeah, the watch. So they started with the Series 8. Well, they started with telling how it saved your life, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, for a while, Tim Cook did a lot of talking out there today. It's like, for a while there, it's like, Tim Cook is just going to give us a monologue. But yeah. So the Series 8, same pricing across the board. And for a while there, it's like, okay, my Series 7 is all these things. And then they started talking about this temperature sensor and how it's good for like fertility tracking and very important things as far as health in regards to that. And this data will live in your health app as well, so you can just like look at your baseline temperature and if it's up or down. And we're not yet sure if it'll kind of tell you if, hey, you might have a fever kind of thing. But interesting data. And the way they're doing it is there's a sensor by your skin and also an air like one near the screen to like, is it warm near the surface to try to get a better reading. I'm also curious if it'll just probably not take a reading if your watch is like overheating by using cellular too much. Like, I'm sure it's smart enough to know if the watch itself is like just insanely warm, which it can get depending.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'd hope
it's smart. Yeah.
It's effectively the only new feature in this watch, as far as I can tell.
Crash detection.
There is crash detection. Okay, there are 2 new features in this watch.
Which seemed cool. That's cool, but not worth upgrading for, because I don't plan on getting, no one plans for that, right? And then the other thing, which something, I don't travel a bunch, but when I was traveling overseas, the fact that my cellular data did not roam on the watch was super annoying. Like, that is something I did run up against when I did my vacation a couple years ago. Like, not an everyday thing, not worth upgrading for, but next time I get the watch, it's been great. I don't have to worry about the watches not working overseas with my cell data.
Mm-hmm.
So...
yeah, that's true. Okay, so there were a few things that were new.
This is even less than like the 5 to 6 where we got the blood oxygen, because at least the 6 you had a brighter screen. I think the screen's the same brightness this time around. So I think this is the minorest of minor, unless the temperature sensor is up your alley.
Yeah, I really think that's it. It's a mature product at this point, right? Like, how many more things can you expect? Like, a new health sensor is on its own pretty significant for a watch update. That's
Yeah.
not going to have like a design change. So I think if you're like on a Series 6 or older, this could be a great purchase, especially with the bigger
Hmm.
screen that you're getting from last year. I think like a year into owning the Series 7, I think it's underappreciated how good this model is.
It's great.
It's really,
Yeah.
really good. The form factor, like the screen, is noticeably bigger without being too much bigger actually on your wrist. Like,
Hmm.
I think if you had a Series 7, you're probably good. I
The
mean, you should
keyboard's
definitely be good,
great.
but
Like all, it's like the refined. Like we're there.
Mhm. Yeah, the keyboard is absolutely the best way to type on it. It's so, so good. Um, and the Series 7 got a ton of the software updates that the
Yeah.
Series 8 got as well.
Oh, and
So,
fast charging. If you use your watch to death, like
mhm.
I mean, this new one we'll talk about has a crazy big battery, but this fast charging in the 7, it's bonkers. You can go from dead to fully charged in less than an hour, or like about an hour, like depending
Mhm.
on conditions, how you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
abs-
pretty great. I'll often be getting home from work that watches at 10% and put on the charger while I shower and kind of get settled in, and boom, I'm good to go.
Yeah, it's one thing I didn't think I would appreciate. Like, I really rolled my eyes, like, okay, my watch charges plenty fast right now. But it is something you get used to really, really quickly, and it's really nice. My wife has a Series 4, which is pretty old at this point.
Yeah.
But whenever I need to like charge hers or whatever, and like I go check on it like 30 minutes later, I'm shocked. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not nearly as topped up as I thought it would be. So it's definitely a nice
Yeah,
quality
I
life
came
thing.
home today, 10%. I put on the charger. I had like a 6 or 7 minute shower or something just to get the world off of me from sweat and whatever, me out and about. And it was up to 18% in whatever, 5 or 6 months or whatever it was. So it's like,
That's pretty good.
yeah, so it gets me in a level where it's, oh, this is gonna die. So yeah, the fast charging's great, and but yeah, Series 8, it's year-over-year upgrade. I'm curious. So the thing, we're gonna talk about the Explorer, the Ultra model later, but we should briefly mention the SE, which, as you predicted, got a price drop, and as you predicted, $249. I was
Yep.
wrong. I thought $229 was kind of the go-to low point of Apple price points where it can't get to $199. So we'll do
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe in a different economy, maybe
It's
it
weird
could
though.
have
Like
gone down, but
it's
yeah,
the US dollar super strong. So it's like
yeah,
here it could be $199. Elsewhere, like the global prices for these new iPhones, I think they are seeing higher prices, but the US dollar is crazy strong right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have a couple of friends in the UK, and they, I was like, oh yeah, the iPhones are the same price. This is great. And they're like, shut up.
Yeah, it's kind of like PS5. It goes up everywhere else. I mean, part of the reason is they want to be competitive globally, but also part of the reason USD is it's crazy strong right now.
Yes, yes.
It's a weird world right now. But yeah, and then you only have to pay $50 for the luxury of cellular on the SE, which is a nice touch. Like I don't know why. I'm actually misremembering. The stainless steel just has it with it for all the models, and then it's $100 difference for the Series 8 in aluminum finishes. So yeah, the SE model cheaper for cellular. That's nice. I don't know.
Yeah, good for cellular. I was hoping it would get the always on screen, but I guess that's a bit of a stretch.
That's the one thing. It's like, please have always on. That's the only thing I really wanted for the SE2, but it didn't get it. It didn't even get ECG. It got color.
ECG would have been nice.
Yeah, like add either ECG or the always on, but no, we didn't get either. We got the faster processor. Okay, good to stay up to date.
Yeah.
The color matched back. I'm not sure who cares about the back, but it's a nice touch, I guess.
It got the crash detection of the Series
Yeah.
8, so that's nice. It's getting WatchOS 9. It kicks the SE out of the line, or not the SE, the Series 3 out of the lineup.
I loved that Series 3
finally.
back in the day, but get it out of here.
The best Apple Watch of its time,
of its time. It was amazing. It's like, oh, this thing, it brought the Apple Watch from pretty slow to a fast responsive device with cellular. Like, it was mind blowing at the time, but that time is long past.
Yeah, it was absolutely the first Apple Watch that was totally fast enough, and you no longer had to complain about your watch being slow.
Yeah,
until it stuck around for 5 years.
5 years, yes. And yeah, that's it to say about the SE2. I mean, I think the price point's more swallowable than the 279, but still a little too high. I think. I don't know.
I mean, it would be great if it was 199. I think 249 is not objectively cheaper, but it feels cheaper in a way. Like than 279 feels like, oh, it's basically $300. 250 feels a little easier to swallow for whatever reason, for me at least. Just the weird way numbers work, I guess. But I think it's decent. I think that without the always on screen, it's really like just the budget watch. Like if you want an Apple Watch but just really can't justify the extra $150.
Yeah. And the 279 is the price point for the 44 millimeter. I'm looking now.
True.
If you want cellular, it's 329. So 329 is the highest you'll pay, bands excluded, for that model. Versus whatever. So it does get much more expensive than the Series 8. I mean, you're looking at $500 for cellular and the bigger size. Like, so there is a couple $100 difference if you're looking at the bigger one. With
there
cellular,
is. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, still, I mean, I think that's it to say about that one. Let's go Ultra.
Let's go Ultra.
So, my opening statement here is Apple may have gotten me on a 2-watch cycle eventually with this Ultra thing. Like, I could see myself holding on to the Series 7, my stainless steel golden one, and use that for however long it feels good to use that for, and get this Ultra and be alternating every couple years when I update both of these at some point. I'm not getting the Ultra this year. I'm still paying off my Series 7. It's on my monthly. I did the monthly plan, so I got another year to like pay that all the way down. But the next year's Ultra, I could see myself getting the Ultra for like work, like during the work day, and when I do run and hike and stuff. Like I kill my battery. Like I was at 10% the day. There are many days I bring the watch charger to work and charge it up midday. I can see this being interesting from that angle. And but you've seen in-person photos. This is not. I would not think that this is not as pretty of a watch for social occasions. Like dressing this up with the Milanese loop is not like in the cards as much.
Yeah, So that was the thing I was wondering going into this event. We knew this like new higher end watch was coming.
Yeah.
We didn't know if it was the Pro or the Ultra or the Extreme or the Explorer or like what it was going to be. But we knew there was some new watch with a new form factor. We had like CAD files showing and everything. Like
and there's a side button, a new side button.
A new side button.
What's this all about? Yeah.
But like, is this going to be aspiration? Like, if you have more money, are you going to, of course, want this one, or is this only for a niche?
Mm-hmm. And
it seems like it's for a niche. I think a lot of people are interested in it today because it's new and exciting. I think this is very much like the Mac Studio last year or earlier this year when the Mac Studio came out, and everyone was like, I gotta get that. And I was like, do you really want a desktop? I think that it's new and shiny. People are excited for it. But it definitely seems like it's aimed at people who are really pushing their Apple Watch past what it can do today and don't necessarily need it to look beautiful. Yeah. Like, it's not shiny. There's no like stainless steel option. It's all titanium. Definitely utilitarian.
And which is a good material. That's the old edition material, right? Or a refined version of that material.
Exactly. And like, they showed it doing a lot of things that I would not use an Apple Watch for today, even though the Apple Watch is great and like good for swimming. And
so I don't take mine in the ocean because I've experienced 2 times where Apple Care replaced it because the speaker just stopped behaving as it should when you go with salt water in it. So I wonder if they're showing diving. I mean, they mark it with surfboards with the regular one. But I wonder if they did anything for saltwater protection in this model that's different from past models. You'd think maybe question. Because it's the whole product category of what this is for versus being a side benefit of the other one.
The website has no references to saltwater, The closest I have is Goldman Sachs Bank, Salt Lake City branch.
Yeah.
Which is probably not
Yeah, it's
relevant to the
rated for
product.
diving and stuff. So that's the like you can go deep with this one, which you can't on the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm curious how it holds up in salt water without rinsing it off right away and being uber careful with it. Yeah, it's a chunky boy. We've seen in-person photos. And we saw it in the event, and it's like, oh, that looks kind of big, but they're kind of at a distance. Like in the product photography on the website, it's like, oh, that looks a little thicker, but it looks like a big old Garmin, as is what the market is.
Yeah, I mean, the screen is 4 millimeters bigger than the previous biggest Apple Watch.
The bands all work miraculously.
The bands do work.
So I could put my shoddy gold Melodies loop with this thing. And
you could.
Odd.
Or you could get the new Alpine loop and throw that on your old watch. And
yeah, what do you think about these new bands? I don't know how these would feel. Like the swimming one looks curious with like the bubble holes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I was staring at them all day and didn't order one. I thought about
band.
it.
Just
a band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, I'm not going to get the new watch because I have a Series 7. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe I'll get a new band to kind of spice it up for the year. And none of these are really exactly what I want, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean they're adventuring bands. Like
they look good. They look good, but I don't know if they would fit in with my watch.
I mean, if I was going to get this, I would get the orange band. Like the watch has like, it's weird. There's like, we're back to the red dot days. We got orange accent colors on this watch.
Mm-hmm. Which I love.
I do love the orange. It looks great.
But it's a shame I just won't have this. This is the sort of thing that I would love to try for a week.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a lot of fun, but I don't think I'm ready to spend $800 on it.
No, I do think I'm going to try to get this next year for the Ultra 2. And I wonder how they'll be branding this going forward.
Yeah.
Right?
I was wondering that too, because it's not the Series 8 Ultra.
No.
It's the Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah.
So is it going to get updated next year?
Oh, that's curious.
I don't know.
It might not. Right?
Like,
this might not be a yearly thing. It could be like the SE, or it could be a huge hit, and they do update it every year because it sells crazy well, and why not update it to keep up with the competition and all that?
Yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see what they do. I could definitely see it being kind of like the SE, where it's an alternate model, and it's selling to people who don't necessarily need all the newest features. They need something that's sturdy and everything. So maybe it's not as imperative for them to update it every year. Yeah. I don't know. The product's like 4 hours old at this point, so it's hard to say for sure.
So I'm in a running family, and I'm surrounded with all these Garmin watches, and they always make fun of my Apple Watch, even though I think the tracking in most situations is just as good, and I think the data deals it out. But I can finally say to all these crazy Garmin people, this watch, it's got the 2 GPS radios, it's got this other thing, like it's Scott Jurek, this crazy ultra marathoner that I've heard of, like they worked with, like, this thing is good to go for running. Like, I can finally say that and not be laughed at, even though I would think otherwise with the standard one, especially this year with all the stride and all that stuff they've added. Like, they've done a lot with the running stuff this year. So that it's really cool. They're adding extra GPS radios and making it like they're going to get good data even if you're in like Chicago Marathon or in a big city, which I'm not in a big city anymore, but when I was, I'm trying to remember if that was an issue. I might have been not realizing it,
Yeah, I mean, they're advertising double the battery life, right?
Yeah.
So 18 hours on the normal one that the Apple Watch, I think, has always had from the start.
Yep.
36 on this one.
36.
60 if you use the new low power mode.
Which I'm so curious how they rate 60 on low power. Like, so if I turn low power mode on, which it sounds like it turns off the always on display and turns off the automatic tracking, I wonder what else they're doing, because if I'm listening to music for that time from AirPods, I know for a fact it's downloaded locally. Like if I do it from like Outcast, I'm gonna kill a watch even with the screen off, just because that's very power intensive for that watch, or at least my watch. I'm curious what scenarios they rate this and how much if you're using AirPods and stuff, it'll still last that long.
Yeah. So it definitely varies, I would bet. When you go into low power mode, so low power mode is available on like the Series 4 and newer, I think.
Yeah.
and is in the GM that just
Does
released.
it tell you what it's actually doing? Okay.
It does.
What's it doing?
More than the iPhone, actually. So it says low power mode will turn off the always on display.
Mm-hmm.
It will limit the sensors, as well as disabling the cellular and Wi-Fi connections on the watch. So I think it's only doing the Bluetooth to your phone.
So it does Bluetooth,
maybe your AirPods,
but no cell or Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yeah, so your background heart rates measurement stop, the heart rate notification stop, irregular rhythm,
but if you're
blood
doing
oxygen,
a workout,
all that
it'll track stuff in the workout.
It'll still do workout tracking. Yeah.
I wish they did a data point on battery for this Ultra. How long of a workout you can do? They said you could do like the triathlon, the Ironman, basically, and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm curious on what hour, how slow can you be at that workout to finish it? Like, you know.
So their website says that 60-hour number includes 15 hours of working out, 600 time checks, and a few minutes of using apps.
Okay.
But it does fewer heart rate chechecks and GPS readings while you're
I've done a 15-hour workout. I did a 50-mile race and finished just under the cutoff time. That was many years ago. And my Apple Watch did not make it through. I had an iPhone 6 Plus at the time, and I was using Runkeeper, and it made it until like 2 minutes after I finished the race. Like that 6 Plus lasted doing Runkeeper and streaming music or whatever to me. So yeah, I guess this will do that and more. It sounds like.
Yeah, this sounds pretty intense. So yeah, 60 hours includes 15 hours of working out.
Yeah.
Already. So yeah, you still have 45 hours of just normal use after that workout.
So one thing I think I'd love with this watch, I'm always saying, brighter, always on display. Which sounds like it's even brighter. I'm curious what that's like in practice. Like outside, is it like super bright now? Like, I mean, the 7's good, but I mean, it can always be better. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think the 7 is already really good. Like there are times where I look down at my watch and I'm not sure immediately.
Yeah, indoors especially.
Mode? Yeah, indoors especially. And yeah, I don't remember how much they said this is.
This can get up to 2,000 nits, but I'm not sure what the always-on display nits would be. I know it's variable depending on the setting.
Less than 2,000, I bet.
But yeah, 2,000 is kind of the max of this thing.
That's pretty insane. It's not going to get 60 hours at that brightness.
No, it will not. One thing that's kind of just like, what do you call it? It feels good to see Apple add this feature to this watch. It's the night mode, which I'm not sure if I've talked to you about this before. I know I talked with Matthew Casanelli about this fact that on iOS there is an accessibility feature to only display red colorings because at night I'm trying to go to sleep and I don't want, like, even when you put your watch on the nightstand, if it's not at like 10%, it's going to be green. I don't want green. I want everything red so I can fall asleep easier. I want all the blue lights out of there. And there's an accessibility feature on iOS that does this. But in the watch, there's no way to just like say make everything red until now. We got this night mode, and they acknowledge like at night, no blue lights. Let's just have it all red, and that's what this mode does.
That's super interesting.
Yeah,
because in watchOS 9, when you put your watch on the charger, the little like animation that shows you the time and the thing is red now.
Only if your watch is at like 10% or 20% or lower, I think.
I don't know 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it when it goes higher, be green again.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I should double check. My watch is never that low, and I was like, why is it red?
Okay, maybe they did change it in one of the later betas, but yeah, I could have sworn I sleep with mine most of the time, but but yeah, even when I'm using the nighttime mode, like there's not much text. It's like I wish I could make that red LEDs instead of little white LEDs and the blue sleep icon. Like I want everything red, and I guess there's a mode. I would love if this would just be a feature of the OS. I'm not sure what's special about it in this version of the watch to enable that. And I got to look at the video more as to how it's enabled on this watch. I'm not sure if there's some like special thing, the action button or something.
Yeah, I think it's just the Wayfinder watch face, but maybe there's something else here that's specific.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like in the video, I thought like they enabled night mode and he was going through the whole watch in that manner, and it looked like there's some toggle for it. But maybe it is just that watch face. So yeah, I'm curious about that. And they actually made it worse in this latest OS. Like they used to use like I think it was the modular face or something, and like you could just have a very simple red watch face, and they changed it so it would display as a white time or something with the color options. Like it was a little bit of a downgrade with as far as the red stuff. But anyways, I love that nighttime is here, and that's another great feature of this watch, which I just really appreciated. So outside of that, it's a big chunky boy, and we got this action button, which you can assign shortcuts to, evidently.
Yeah, and like apps can assign shortcuts to it as well, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's programmable in every sense of the word, which it seems very cool. Like I could see a way of designing an app entirely with buttons and the digital crown, where you're using you're scrolling list, you use the action button to confirm maybe like if you could have a water, like you're in the water and you could use your watch hypothetically if they design this properly, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's kind of the demos that they showed. They showed someone scuba diving and like I forget what they did, but they're like it's meant to be used with gloves in a way that the current buttons really don't work super well.
Nope. I would love if they open up the speaker to be used for audio playback in this model. I know it'll kill your battery. I wonder how good that speaker is. I would love to just like listen to some podcasts with Play Watch without any AirPods in.
Yeah,
you got a bigger battery now.
Yeah, that speaker can do some audio, right? Like it can read out things to you.
Yeah, and like voice, like you can take a phone call with just the speaker.
Yeah. But you can't listen to music or something like that.
No, I've had a couple glitches where it comes out. It's like, oh.
But I knew you could do it.
Yeah.
It's got this siren speaker as well.
So you don't need to bring your whistle, I guess, as much. Which I mean, hikers do. You bring your whistle. It seems like a nice little thing.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, this kind of continues the trend of this entire episode, or not episode. This entire presentation being about safety. Like, very big safety presentation.
Very much so. Yeah, and
for every product.
Yeah. And then there's this depth gauge related to the scuba dive. So if you go at a certain point, your watch will know you're underwater, and it'll, I guess, change if you're not using the scuba diving app to this. It looks like a watch face, I guess, maybe, that shows how deep you are, the temperature of the water, which I love that. I wish when I went for a swim, and maybe the new watches will do that, Series 8, there's a temperature sensor thing. I would love if when you finish your workout in the ocean or a pool, it has the temperature of the water was this.
You would think they could do that.
And it's interesting to actually give you the temperature of the water, because for your body, they don't give you the temperature, but that external thing, they are more confident it would appear in that data, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
It's curious. Yeah,
that's very, very, very interesting. I have no idea what that is, but yeah, that was was one of those things where I was like, I'm never going to go scuba diving. This is not for me at all. That app is cool though. Maybe I should get the Ultra.
Maybe I should go scuba diving. Yeah, I mean, I could see on a vacation, like, let's go do a scuba diving like 101 thing and like try it out, and then I get the watch. I don't know.
I think like all the technology reviewers at like big publications,
Joanna Stern is going scuba diving.
She's about to make like a crazy request to, to her bosses to be like, send me out here. I'm going scuba diving.
Yep, totally. That app won't be out by review season though, I don't think.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The compass, which we're getting on the older watches. This new compass app is brilliant. I haven't played with this, but this was great. That's one thing you can use the action button for, is set your current waypoint or whatever. So you'll be able to set like, here's where my car is. Here's where the camping ground here. Here's where maybe my water source is. You can set all these different waypoints, And there's like an automatic version when you go off the grid, like you lose cell phone coverage or something. It'll know when you're in the middle of nowhere and just start tracking things to where you came from that maybe had cell phone coverage. And it'll kind of like guide you with like, walk this way to get back on track to where you were. And I love this because many years ago when I lived in California, I went hiking a lot and I got lost at least once. This would have been handy back then. Yeah.
Yeah, this is incredibly rad. And like you said, coming to older watches, I don't know exactly which ones, but it is on the Series 7. I'm using it right now, and it's like all here. Like you can set waypoints. I don't know if it does like the automatic, like when you drop off cell coverage, does it do a thing? Probably not, because it doesn't have the satellite stuff, but it does let you set waypoints, and you can like use it to orient yourself and like start walking towards the points that you created and everything. Like it's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's so smart. Like it's like, oh, this is smart. And the Compass app has always been kind of like, okay, kind of a joke, but now it's like, oh, this is kind of useful now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they added elevation a couple years ago, and that was good. But like, yeah, as far as I can tell, all the things they showed in the presentation for the Ultra is in the old watches too, which is cool.
Yeah, it's super rad. And I'm still trying to visualize 49 millimeters and how big this thing is. And what are have you taken a look at these new watch faces and how good or is the extra screen space in these watch faces?
Yeah, it's a good question. It looks huge in like people in the hands-on area posting like pictures and videos of it side by side with the Series 8, and it's a chunker. I don't think the watch faces have really been changed. I think they're just larger. Is the impression I got.
Yeah. And there are new ones like that Wayfinder watch face that I'm reading the description now. You turn the crown and it turns in the night mode kind of thing. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the face is twice as bright as any other Apple Watch. So 1,000 nits was the prior highest. So I'm super curious to see how that always on display looks. I mean, oh man.
Yeah, that's bananas. The if it's 2,000 nits peak, that's the same peak as the new iPhone 14 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And on the marketing site for that, they say a display that's 2 times brighter than the sun. So either you should absolutely not look at the screen at full brightness, or their marketing is a little aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, on the phone, the challenge is it overheats and then it can't be that brightness outside, which Casey Liss has lamented often. So we'll see if they addressed that in this phone. On the watch, that's not really an issue because it when you're outside, it goes to the full brightness and it doesn't overheat in the way the watches do. The speakers regarding that, it's dual speakers, I guess, in this new one. So they're advertising it that is better. Yeah,
exactly, 2 times better. Yes.
Right. And then trying to just kind of look over anything we may have missed with this one. I want it. I mean, I can't justify this right now, but I do want this thing.
Yeah, I want it as a novelty.
I said I do want this as a secondary watch. Like I could see I will have a world where I have 2 Apple Watches that are different update cycles. I can see that being a thing. Because it would be of a real benefit as far as like my Series 7 is kind of banged up. The screen's good, but the sides, like through work, they're scratched. Like I work at a place that they get scratched up. I'm being careful, but like it's bound to happen one of these days. And after the first one, it's like, okay, this is scratched. So yeah, what the heck? I mean, so in this future where I have 2, like I wear this, the titanium extreme one to things that are more prone to that happen, and then my Series 7 or whatever it is at that time can stay nicer. So I don't know. I could see this world. I'm not sure how others in my life would feel about that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one to explain.
It is. Like, why do you have 2 Apple Watches? One's my fancy.
I sympathize.
One's my fancy. I have a day watch and night watch. All the bands work, thankfully. I mean, that's...
Think of all the money we're saving by not buying new bands.
Yeah, exactly. I work toward, I'm working towards a miracle. Let me start running again and more regularity. The track thing is interesting. It's coming soon, not in the original release of this. Detects when you arrive at a track and uses both Apple Maps data and GPS to provide the most accurate pace, distance, and route map. So curious about this. Like, is it building a database of racing tracks, or is it detecting that I'm running in circles? Like, there's this interface for choosing the lane, so you can say, "Oh, I'm in the exterior lane or the middle lane." It's super smart because I've done racetrack runs, and like, it'd be nice if that was even more accurate through that.
Yeah, I could see why those. I mean, I don't run into track, but
Yeah,
it makes sense that the GPS might get confused when you're just going in circles.
Yep.
And not give you an accurate measurement.
And it'd be nice to tell it, "Oh, I'm in the interior track," so it can make smart deductions based off that information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I'm curious how it's detecting this. Like, is it detecting it mid-run, or like it's a place I go often and it knows, we know it's a track at this point in your
it would only be useful, I think, if it detected when you were at a track and like prompted you before you started.
Yes.
Because I can't imagine someone goes to a track and is like, "I'm going to start running now, but I'm not going to start my workout. I'm going to wait." Like, you're going to start it right away.
It's weird that you can't just start. It's a workout type, like track run almost. But I guess they're trying to be smarter than that.
It's very strange. Yeah, I feel like you would want to. Yeah, like, even if it could tell you're at a track by like using Apple Maps data to like detect like that looks like a track.
Yeah,
you would think it would ask you, okay, how big is the track, and then you'd be able to like determine things based on that. But
most tracks, there's a regulation size, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's 4 laps per mile. I'm not sure if there's a different standard in different countries.
Okay, I'm revealing how little I go to tracks to run. Which is never.
For one of the races I did train at like a high school track because I used to live across the street from a high school, and during winter I would train on the track because I don't have to worry about snow and crap, and I could be close to my apartment if I want to bail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've done the thing that some people have called me crazy for. I would do like a 6-hour run around a track, like just listen to the podcast and zoning out in a very cathartic way.
Yeah, it's too much running.
Yeah, it was a lot. The other thing this watch can do is operate at negative 20 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is as far as temperature. But yeah, I'm curious how the current Apple Watches stand up to the temperature thresholds they're talking about here.
Yeah, it's -4 Fahrenheit apparently.
Okay,
which is cold.
That's cold.
And I've worn my watch in that weather before, so
yeah,
maybe it wouldn't last forever.
Maybe not.
I've had AirPods freeze in that sort of weather.
Yeah,
like they just stop working. The battery just like freezes up.
Yeah. Oh, and the other super smart thing about the scuba thing, I'm rewatching some stuff, is the telling you when to stop going up when you're like getting out of the water.
Oh yeah,
the decompression thing, like that's cool.
Yeah, lots of smart things in this presentation. We'll get to the iPhone stuff, but like a lot of things you're like, that's a very clever way to do what they're doing.
Yeah, super smart. Okay, I think that's it for. I guess you can use the AR sensors on your phone to look at the Ultra in person, sort of.
That is actually
I might do that later. Just
that's the very first thing.
I might see it next to my current Apple Watch and just like, oh, that thing's big.
Yeah, I think it's going to scare you.
Yeah. The trade-in values are so depressing on Apple right now. It's like, these are just not. They should be more for like phones and stuff. I think my Mini was like, you can get $300 for your top line 12 Mini. It's like, okay.
Really?
I'm not doing that.
I was actually really impressed with the trade-in for the 13 Pros. I got a 13 Pro Max.
Okay, yeah. The Minis they don't value at all. It's very disrespectful.
Well, they did discontinue it. They
did.
They're like, it did not work.
Did not work. Let's talk about that when we get to the phones.
Yeah.
Let's jump to AirPods briefly here.
Yeah.
I love my AirPods Pro. I use them every day. I also use them my Maxes every day. And there are some little things they can improve, and it seems they've done a lot of those little things.
Yeah, it really seems like a product that they understand how people use them.
Yeah,
and made really smart improvements to a product that, like, on the face of it, is kind of just in its ultimate form already. Like,
Right.
how many more things can you do to a pair of earbuds? But the improved noise reduction is obviously great.
This is already awesome. Like I've used that on a plane. It's like, whoa, that's good.
Yeah, surprisingly
or with
good
air
for an earbud.
conditioners. Like that's great. The adaptive transparency, I think, will be kind of mind blowing because I think I'll use transparency mode more if it would be quiet when it should settle down when I'm passing like construction. Or if I'm in like a loud truck or something, I'd imagine it might be like my hope with adaptive transparency is it can kind of like shape the world around me to be, you know, pleasing, and I can still hear what I'm trying to hear, like an Apple version of the world around me.
Yeah. No, like kind of like a sound, like the sound check feature from iTunes.
Yeah, someone's mixing the world. Almost.
Normal. Exactly.
Yeah, someone's mixing the world for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds great.
Yeah. I also really like the volume controls, the swipe controls you can do.
Yeah. So when they announced this feature, I was like, expletive came out of my mouth because like they're getting rid of the awesome clicky button. It's like, no, they're not. They're adding a swipe in addition to the great like digital button thing that was one of the biggest improvements over the original AirPods. Like that tapping thing was ridiculous, and a real button works, and the swipe that's a nice addition. Yeah.
Yeah, I've used like Samsung earbuds that are touch only, and they're not very good, and they're prone to like false positives. So the physical button, it's probably not physical. It's probably the haptic thing. But anyway, the squeeze thing is pretty good, and then just swiping to do volume controls is awesome because
you can use that thing with gloves on, the click.
Yeah. Depends on the gloves you have. I have big beefy gloves.
Oh, sometimes they don't work with it. Okay.
Yeah, that was like the one time I missed the like slam your head.
Right. Yeah.
That worked better with big winter gloves on, but yeah, in every other case, much prefer the new ones.
And 48 kilohertz audio for SharePlay, which is weird. It says for SharePlay. I guess maybe SharePlay had lower fidelity. We didn't get the lossless wireless thing at all.
No lossless. No, I'm not sure that's feasible.
Yeah, they're saying that was coming. Better battery life because of the new chip. I guess it's part of this new. It's part of the new Bluetooth standard, I think, that they're using here.
Yeah, and then the case I think is a big upgrade too.
Yeah, it's got speakers.
It has speakers which don't play music. Although if it was a portable boombox, that'd be cool. But
hilarious, right?
But great for finding it when you lose it.
Totally.
And then the little lanyard hook is on there, which is great.
This reminds me of the days of iPods where they would do some kind of lanyard stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That iPod with the like little corner cutout.
Yeah. So the other thing, Apple Watch charging of the case.
Yes.
Brilliant. And when I saw that, immediately I said, why can't I use that with my little 12 mini? I mean, I get it because like it's a much bigger surface that they want to spread the heat out over, but it'd be nice if I just pop my phone on top of. I get it. I mean, it's especially ridiculous with the Pro Max and stuff, how big those things are. But
do you want to charge your phone in 4 days?
Right. Oh gosh.
That was cool. I've tried to do it before. I was like, maybe this works, right?
Right.
They're kind of the same shape, and how does it know really? But it doesn't work. So this is cool. Nice. One of those things that's just nice in a pinch. Yeah. Since it did not get USB-C, it doesn't look like it's still Lightning. So
I wish we could swap. I wish I could buy this case and just pop my old AirPods into this thing.
Yeah, can you not do that? Because I did that with the normal AirPods. They had like the new AirPods Gen 2, but then they had the case. You could buy just the case.
Yeah, for the
MagSafe wireless charging.
Edition, I think. Yeah, or not MagSafe, just Qi charging. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, not doing that this time. Nope. You got to buy the new ones.
Yeah, which I'm not going to do anytime soon because I just replaced mine earlier this year because I had them destroyed and a trash compactor.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So I'm set until they start dying, I think.
Does Apple Care cover that?
Well, it was at the town dump, so they would have, I think, covered it if they were retrievable, but they weren't retrievable, sadly.
Okay. If you could have brought them into the Apple Store and
Yes.
covered in grime and old fruit and stuff,
to a tiny cube. Yeah, it's like, here they are. But no. This is the one of the new products has a U1 chip, a very rare product that has the directional location thing, which is great.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Is that only in the case or is it in the AirPods themselves?
I think it's the case, but
okay.
I'm ready to be proven wrong.
I think you're right.
And I guess emoji engraving is new on the case. I think I think that was new with the last AirPods update last year, maybe. Yeah.
So this wider case.
And 6 hours of listening time up from 4. So that's cool. I never run into that issue really because I mostly listen with AirPods one at a time, and after the 4 hours are done, I just swap them out. But that's nice. Yeah.
It's good for longevity too.
It is, yeah.
So 2 years down the road, you'll have
4 hours instead of 6. Yeah.
Or 35 minutes instead of 20.
Yeah. And conversation boost is a feature I'm seeing here as well. Might be part of that adaptive transparency thing that helps hearing conversations or something. It was part of their splash screen at the very end of the keynote. I took screenshots and I always find those helpful. And then there's an extra small size, which I always use the extra large size, so I don't really...
See, the last one didn't fit quite in my ears, and I think it was because the small was even too big, so this actually might make these fit.
Yeah. I use a third-party thing. Yeah.
Okay, that might be a nice thing. I currently use the regular AirPods because they fit my ear perfectly.
Oh, okay, you're regular AirPods guy. Okay.
But I do miss the noise cancellation, specifically when I'm like walking through the wind, which apparently I do a lot, because the wind really gets in there in ways that I didn't really appreciate.
Are you an AirPods 2 or 3 person?
3.
Okay, so they fit you well with those.
Yeah, they fit unbelievably well. I could wear them for hours. They don't hurt. Like, for me, like I know people have they're like, these don't fit in my ears at all. They're perfect for me.
Have you noticed with WatchOS 9, the algorithm for the loud sensor on the watch seems to go off a lot more when I'm washing my hands in other situations that should know better about than in the past? I don't know if it's...
I have not noticed this.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's just like me. I have no idea if it's real or not. One of those situations. And that's AirPods Pro 2. They're $249. They replace AirPods Pro 1, and AirPods Pro 1 no longer exist. You can't buy them. And all the other AirPods exist at the same price points, I believe.
Yeah, no changes elsewhere.
Yeah.
But good update.
Very good update. And now we get to the phones. Any opening statements on the phones here?
Ooh, yes. Okay. My opening statement is I'm very excited for the hole punch, which I forgot their fancy name for.
Oh, the magical island. What is this? The island of isolation?
I laughed out loud when they said the name at first.
But Dynamic Island.
Dynamic Island.
Next Apple TV reality show on there.
I lost it. But I'm a huge fan of the hole punch on Android phones. I think it's better. It's better than the notch, in my opinion.
Sure.
But the criticism that I always hear is, what's the difference? It's just taking up the same amount of vertical pixels. Who cares if you can see a couple pixels above it,
right?
And a few more on the right and left? Like, it's not giving you any more vertical space. So who cares? Just give me a notch. It's fine. I'm used to it. But they took advantage of the space. They took advantage of the extra space on the right and left of it, so that they can display notifications, so that all the normal animations for Face ID and Apple Pay and stuff all come down from there and animate back into it when they're done.
And it's interactive. You can tap the timer thing that's in the island. It's it feels like it's one big display. So
this is the thing.
I was delighted. I guess I was delighted when I saw what this island thing. It's like I love the mini size. I hate that this is a pro only thing and there's no small version of this. Man, this looks great. It looks awesome. I would love to have an island instead of my notch on my mini. This thing looks like a vast improvement over your usability and just enjoyment of the phone.
Yeah, I mean, this could end up being the touch bar, and in like a year or two, we're like, this was actually stupid. But I feel confident that it's going to be good. Like, I never set timers on my phone right now. I always
Yeah.
use them on my watch
Right.
because they can show. I can see them on my watch
Yeah,
face. I can
totally.
see how much time is left, and now I can do that on the phone too.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's taking anything away, right? Like,
Right.
nothing is going away. It's not like they took away the function row and added the screen. Like, they reduced the number of pixels taken up by the notch. They added some more information. Like, when you're on a call, it'll show you the call and the duration, and maybe you can hang up from there instead of just showing you the green circle at the top that you have to like go and interact with. So like, I think it's going to be really, really good. But it was like one of those things where I was like, oh, this is like Apple at their best. This is them doing something that other people have done, but doing it better and in a way that none of us predicted. There was like a mock-up early, like a couple,
Of
like
just
a week
like,
ago.
oh, privacy info will be there. It's like, okay.
Yeah, they'll put the little green dot and the little orange dot there to show your microphone is running. But no, they're doing something way more and much better than we expected.
Yeah, I was just, it's like, whoa, this is delightful. This is just great. I mean, it's smart. Like, why make this change? This is why you make that change. Like,
yeah, constraints lead to creativity. Like,
and there's some sensor they could get under the screen. So, was it the proximity sensor? I think, which makes it that. Yeah, they don't need a ton of space for the sensors they have now to make this happen.
Yeah, no, it looks great. There's none of like the weird like some Android phones like put some stuff behind the screen, but it's kind of like there's like a checkerboard over it, so you can kind of still see it. They're not doing that. Like, it's a chunky hole punch, but
I mean, with the phone thing on, I'm looking at that notification. It looks like it's a big screen now. Like, it looks like the iPad Pro with smaller bezels where it's all screen. They've sort of done it. I mean, in many uses of your phone, it will look like there is no anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They've integrated it into the software in a way that it doesn't feel like a compromise.
I will say, I hate how they showed movies and video or TV shows with the pill cut out. I'm sure there's a setting to unzoom that, but it just looked bad having like a pill cut out of a movie when you're watching stuff on the phone. I'm sure that's a setting you can tap out of.
Yeah, I'm sure it's how it is now, and they just don't want to show the black bars on the side for marketing shots.
It just looks like that. I would never watch video that way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that right now with the notch, right?
You
can. You can just like pinch to zoom.
But I think by default with the notch, they would zoom out. I'm curious if the default is zooming in now.
Yeah, well, because iOS has like the concept of safe areas, right?
Yeah.
So like you have the safe area where, like they have that for Safari on the web and everything. They've got it for apps as well. I wonder if the safe area stops at the hole punch or if it goes all the way to the top of the screen. I bet you it goes to the hole punch, but I don't know yet.
Right. And I love how like some stuff can go pretty far down. Like Face ID, it'll just like let's take up some more room. Like it's really variable as far as how much size this stuff will work with and take.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like it starts at that tiny size and it'll expand out to the sides to do little things, but it can also get super big if you want to show like you said, Face ID, or if it's a like expanding a persistent notification for like a sports score, or like a flight tracker or Uber ride or whatever.
And I gotta say, the purple on the Pro looks better than the purple on the regular 14, which is a first for colors in my book. That the regular colors have always looked better. And this time we got deep purple on the Pro one, and we got the light thing that I would expect from the Pro on the regular one. So that's a win.
Yeah. So I would encourage everyone listening to not order the purple one because I want to get it day one.
Yes.
Don't delay my order.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah. It looks great. As far as the regular 14. It's funny that they said the same starting price. It's you removed an option for the starting price, and I mean technically that's right, but it is $100 more expensive than the old lowest end starting price.
That's true. You could probably take them to court over. Technically, your old website said the 13 started at the mini price.
It's true. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there were rumors prices were going up. That was a currency thing globally that's accurate, but in the United States, where the dollar is strong, it is staying at the same starting price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always interesting that just a random thing that I keep thinking about is with rumors, like sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but sometimes they're just a little wrong. Like it's the right thing, but they didn't have all the information, so like prices are going up. We see the U.S. prices; they didn't go up, but they did overseas. We saw like the mock-up of the pill is going to have those tootle dots or like microphone and stuff like, and it's not that, but it's similar to that.
Similar to that, yes.
The satellite thing was going to be a thing last year. Like Mark Gurman said it was going to be last year. It wasn't last year. They probably just didn't get the deals done or whatever. Yeah. Now it's this year. So it was right. It just wasn't right on the timeline we thought it might be. So I just think it's an interesting thing. Like these rumors that we think are wrong are sometimes sort of right, actually.
Yeah. I'm curious about the satellite thing. If the watch will get that in the next iteration of the Ultra watch built in. I'm curious on that one. I have no idea how power hungry that is or how big the sensors are for that. The radios are, I mean.
Well, they were talking about on the iPhone, like the way that a lot of people solve it is with like those giant antennas that like pull up and everything. Yeah. And obviously they're not going to do that on the iPhone, so they had to do something to make it fit in an iPhone. Yeah. Their engineers are probably just screaming at the idea of doing it in a watch. Right. But maybe.
So this is one of the features I could sell, I think, family members on why you'd want to upgrade. Because, so we have a Spot GPS tracker device thing. And it has expensive service that we activate from time to time, and I don't think we've once gotten that thing to work. Like, it's a dedicated device for the satellite communication, and we're outside, perfectly clear line of sight. It is crap. Like, it never works. Like this, it actually give you some like direction, like turn this way. Like, that sounds great because like let's line this thing up and make it work. And it's so smart how it will like prompt you with some questions about what's going on, and like when you're connected, it'll beam all that stuff up. Like, was there ability to iMessage people at all with some of that data as well, or is it purely these like rescue squads? Like, I'd love to, like, I need rescued from my family instead of like an expensive rescue. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It wasn't totally clear to me.
They mentioned Find My would update, but there's no way to like in Find My say, come get me.
Yeah, I think Find My what they implied was Find My will add your location so people can see you.
Yes,
but
there's no like
have to know that you need help.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. But this looks super well implemented. And I could see the selling iPhone 14s, and no question, for sure. Interesting. It's free for 2 years. After that, we're not sure how much Apple's service revenue needs a month or not.
Yeah, maybe they don't know either, and they want to find out.
Well, they want to find out probably usage of this thing, and like, because like a lot of these services, it's a good $15 a month just for this like chance you might need this service kind of thing. Like, I wonder what price points they'll go here. Because I wouldn't, $5 a month would not be terrible, but like anything more, I'd start questioning: do I need this every month?
Yeah, is it a part of Apple One even, like that sort of thing?
Yeah, right. Because I mean, a lot of people do live in the middle of nowhere and don't get great service, and I wonder how this expands over the years to include iMessage and other features. But it was interesting how they're like, we can compact this message in different ways. Like, they've thought this through. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks really rad. A thing that a homebody like me probably doesn't need, but it'll be good to have it there, I suppose. In a pinch. Yeah. That's how all these things work, right? Most people don't need them, but
in the apocalypse,
Yeah.
But we do go hiking a fair bit, and there are many times where there's just no signal. Like, I've got the little and even where some of my family lives, like, the only carrier you get out there is U.S. Cellular, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, no service. So like, I do go frequently enough to places that you literally don't have any service at all. Like it's not a thing out there. So America's hard to cover, I guess. So this will be great. And then the low light stuff. They have this new processing mode that lets them deal with photos in their uncompressed state to get more data out of it. And it's doing this in an A15 chip as well, which makes me wonder, why doesn't the 13 get this retroactively if they figured this out?
It's a great question. And you're going to have to take it up with marketing, probably.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it sounds like they just rearranged the pipeline a little bit to just change the order of operations. It's kind of like a Photoshop filter. Like you've got like your filters on top of it. You just like shift the order that they're implemented. And this should help. But yeah, the cameras look like a really good upgrade. Like the 13 was a solid update, but kind of nothing major. But like I feel like the all 3 cameras on the Pro got an upgrade.
Yeah.
And I think they all addressed the exact problem that I have with them. So I'm really encouraged that they're going to be a meaningful update.
The problem being light performance for any of the ones that aren't the standard one.
The telephoto they specify it gets much more light in. The wide angle, the normal lens has 48 megapixels. That's been down to 12, but you can use all 48 if you shoot in Pro RAW. And then the ultra wide they don't say exactly how, but they say it will be crisper. And I feel like the ultra wide kind of is the one that needs the extra resolution, because even though it can look really good, like it's just showing you physically more space, so more pixels would be good. But if they can make it a little sharper, that would be really nice. So I'm really excited. And these are chonkers. Like they're taking up more than half the horizontal size of the back of the phone, so they'd better be good.
Yeah. As far as I guess we'll jump back and forth between Pro and the regular one. I love that with the Pro one, with the Pro RAW, they make it more like it's using all 64 megapixels. I love that because, like in the past, it was like I get this RAW thing, same megapixels. This seems like a differentiating feature. Like I can get huge freaking photos that are 64 megapixels versus the standard ones that are through the pipeline. It seems like more of a reason to go with the Pro RAW in my mind.
I think so. Yeah, because I stopped shooting Pro RAW with my iPhones previously. I shoot RAW like on my like big camera and everything, but I never do it on the iPhone because the files are too big, and they do a little processing to it. So I'm actually excited about this new processing thing they do. But the additional resolution I think is huge, especially in like good light where all those pixels are going to be lit up really well and you're going to get a really good image. Like, yeah, it's really exciting because 48 megapixels is a lot. Like,
it's a lot. I wonder how big each photo is. I'm curious on that one.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. Like I have a Canon R6 that I use for YouTube videos, but it also shoots photos, and it's 20 megapixels. So 48 is it's significant. It's massive. I'm looking at a shot from the EOS R6 is 8 megabytes. So that's actually not bad.
Okay.
But these will probably be like, but 48 megapixels is a lot more, so they're going to be big.
But yeah, they showed an example of like a helicopter shot or from Hawaii and being able to zoom in, and it still looks pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is now that you can crop in, 2x zoom is suddenly usable again, which really annoyed me with the 13, that there was no 2x. You had 1x and 3x, but 2x was just a crop in on the 1x sensor, and it looked bad.
Yeah.
But that's a very useful focal length to use. So it's good to see that that's going to look nice again. And they said, I mean, again, it's marketing speak, but they said that it should look even better than the actual like 2x lens that we had previously. So yeah, we shall see.
And video, the cinematic thing, you can do 4K at 24 or 30, which that seems like that should be the baseline where that feature is. So we're there. Yeah.
That was a layup. They had to do it.
And is that just the Pro model? Is that right?
No, that the 14 got it as well.
Oh, an A15 chip did that too. Huh.
Yep. Well, I think it sounds like the 14 might have the same A15 as the 13 Pros.
There was a difference?
13. Yeah, so the 13s So the iPhone 13 had the
Uh-huh.
A15. The iPhone 13 Pro had the A15. Same name, but it had like an extra GPU core and maybe a little extra,
Oh,
um, what's the like the ProRes process? Like there's a
yeah.
little extra stuff in the
Interesting. Okay.
13 Pro, which is why it had cinematic mode and the other one didn't, and that sort of thing.
Um, the well, the 13 mini has cinematic mode. It might have a better version of cinematic slightly.
Maybe it's not, maybe cinematic mode wasn't exclusive, but whatever features that
Yeah.
there were some camera
There
features
was
that
some
I can't
stuff.
think of right now
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was exclusive to the Pros
Okay.
that the 13 didn't have.
I
So
want.
those might have come down.
I wonder if like Pro. I can't imagine the Pro Raw went down to the 14 this time around. I think that's still exclusive,
I think it's exclusive to the Pro.
just because it's a Pro thing. The thing that looks, I think more people will get more out of this video feature this year is you're running and taking a video and it's stabilizing. That looks great and something I think people I don't think use cinematic mode that much. I think this will be just you're running after your kids, you're capturing them on video. I think everyone's going to get use out of this. I think that's
Yeah.
a win, and
Yeah,
it's done
I
in
think-
Dolby Vision HDR. Like it's good quality too.
hmm I think this is. I'll be curious to see how it works as a mode. I think it would be really great if this was just built into the normal video capture. I think that's how it
Absolutely.
goes mainstream. Like it just needs to be. It just needs to figure out that your camera's shaking a lot, and it should level it out for you
And if
in
you're
real time.
pro, maybe there's a little nod, like live photos. You can like maybe turn it off.
Yeah, live
Maybe.
photos, night mode. You can toggle it off when it kicks in. Like night
Yeah.
mode, like when it's dark, like the icon appears
Mm-hmm.
in the interface. When it's light, it's not there. It could be the same thing here.
Yeah.
That's what I would say, and maybe that is how it works. I haven't actually seen it in action,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do agree with you that it's more useful to more people than cinematic mode, which I think is
for
better
sure.
than people give it credit for, but it's still not that useful.
Yeah, I
for
don't
most
have a
people.
phone to test that with quite yet.
It's better than portrait mode 1.0 for sure.
Okay. I'm so a little bit of confusing. I'm looking at battery life here. A little confusing that they say the 14 Plus is the best battery life ever on an iPhone. It says 26 hours of video playback with the Plus.
How
And
all
then
of us use our phone
on
for
the
26
Max.
hours.
Well, yeah, on the Max it's 29 hours, but
Sure
they
is.
advertise the Plus as the best iPhone ever. I don't understand this at all because I thought maybe it was like the 10R year where the cheaper phone had the better battery life. Not the case, it would appear.
The only thing I can see is the Plus has 5 hours extra audio playback. The
Okay.
Pro gets 95 and the 14 Plus gets 100.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's the best argument I have.
Yeah, and always on display that we'll talk about a little bit doesn't seem to cut into it. Like I thought maybe that was it. Oh, maybe the always on display is cutting its usable life down from the Plus, but maybe not. But yeah, it's either way you're getting more than a full day where you're not sleeping of use out of these big chonking phones.
Yeah, I mean, if it's anything, I guess I could see what they cite for the 13 Pro Max, but I have the 13 Pro Max, and if I drop it below 50 in a day, it means I use
saw
my
your
phone
tweet
a
the other
ton.
day. I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I got the 12. I've got the 12 mini, which I need to charge that at the end of the day. We'll just do
Yeah,
it.
not the same story.
No. The thing I'm a little scared about is the SIM tray removal. eSIM historically has not been very friendly to use and move devices around as carriers are sometimes butts about this. So it looks like a good interface. I don't know if this is a new interface or what the deal is there, but what are your thoughts on eSIM?
Well, I've never used it.
Yeah.
I continue to have a micro SIM from years ago that I
Yes.
just keep moving from phone to phone, and it's been perfect. It's so easy. You just get a new phone, iPhone, Android phone, whatever. You pop in the SIM, and you immediately have service. And it works.
Immediately. Yeah, and you
It's
could be
great.
going back and forth between phones if you're that kind of person. Like if you're a reviewer, that's an awesome thing to have.
Yeah, which I used to do. I don't do that anymore, so maybe this isn't as big an
Or
issue.
international usage, you're in the
Yeah.
States. Like that's a common like you have an eSIM for your standard one, then maybe you travel and you pop into physical SIM. That ability is gone now, which that kind of sucks.
Well, because that was the dual SIM system they had before, where you could have an eSIM
and a
physical SIM. I think they seem to talk about you could manage multiple eSIMs now.
Right. I don't know what the threshold there is at, but that seems like maybe that might not be as easy as just buying a SIM someplace internationally. Like you're in the middle.
Yeah.
You're in an airport. I don't know if they sell you an eSIM for prepaid stuff as easily.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't have any experience here. I will say that last year when I got the 13, I scratched the screen pretty badly, like on day 2 with it, and I took it into an Apple store to get replaced. And they did replace it for me out of sympathy. They said normally we wouldn't do this, but you just bought this and you just destroyed it, so we'll fix it for you. But
and you didn't try to return it without. I don't know if that would have gone through or not.
Oh yeah, I didn't even consider that. I was just honest, I guess.
Yes.
But I brought it in, and they were like, okay, and then you have eSIM. We're going to go ahead and do the transfer thing. I was like, oh, it's okay. I have a regular SIM card, and like the person helping me was surprised. They were like, it had been a while since they'd seen someone with a regular
I imagine
SIM.
most have regular SIMs. I guess not.
That's what I would have assumed as well, but they were surprised when I had that. So that was like, oh, maybe am I behind the times? But so this will be the first time I guess that I'm forced to start using it. And
and the website says traveling is a breeze. Before you go, activate an eSIM for the country you're visiting. So they're very confident that this won't be an issue.
Yeah, so it probably won't be. I'm probably being a curmudgeon, but it's pushing me to change.
Yeah. Always on display. What are your thoughts on this one? Will this be useful to me? So I use an iPhone and it lives in a sleeve. It's literally when I'm not using it, I put it in its sleeve. I can't see it if it's on or off. Most people are not like me. I understand. What do you? And you have an Apple Watch that's always on display. Like this seems like it will have richer always on capabilities, maybe with the live activities. Yeah.
So I am super amped for this. Again, one of those things that like living partially in the Android world. Like I feel like sometimes I like come into the Apple conversation. I'm like, guys, it's actually good. You're going to like it.
Yeah.
I promise. But so I have an aircraft carrier of a phone.
Yes.
So
the Max.
I don't want it. Yes, I have the Max, so it's not in my pocket when I'm sitting down. I put it next to me on the desk and everything. So it is face up because, again, I scratched my phone. I don't want to do that again. So face up. And it's nice just to see the time. Like, yes, it's on my watch, but it's going to be nice to have the widgets on the lock screen now. It'll be nice to just have the wallpaper there. Like, they're showing more of the wallpaper than I'm used to seeing on Android phones that do this. Like, it is the nicest looking always on mode I think I've ever seen. And notifications, like you do get them on your watch, but you don't get them on the always on thing. Like when my watch is just like at my side, I'm not seeing my notifications.
No, you get a tap.
You get a tap, you can see it, but
you'll see a number update on the messages, complication, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But if I want to like actually see what it is, I could see it kind of at the bottom of the lock screen on the iPhone. So I think there's some practicality there. And again, most iPhone users still don't have an Apple Watch, so they are going to get all these benefits for the first time. But I mean,
I wonder what the privacy modes are like on this thing.
Yeah, I would assume it's the same as it is today, where it's like by default, it's like only shows you the app that sends you the notification until you like authenticate with your face. And then they expand, but it looks really good. They did it exactly how they did on the Apple Watch, where it kind of like just like looks like it dips away from the screen a little bit. Just all your colors are still there, like everything is there. It's just dimmer, a little dimmer, but like everything is still there.
I wonder if live activities will ever come to the watch. I mean, they did all this work for the phone. I wonder if we'll get richer complications through that.
That would be a good thing for next year for sure.
Yeah.
To have it like take over the watch face kind of. So like when you're in always on mode, it's going to just be there.
Yeah. I mean, now that we have always on the phone, like I would hope the watch they'll both benefit, I think, from having this.
Yeah. I mean, it unifies it. Like it's good. It's an unmitigated good thing, down to 1 hertz, which is again what the watch does, and doesn't seem. I mean, the battery. It was the first always on mode for the watch was bad. The Series 5,
yes,
was pretty bad for battery life. But they bounced right back up with the 6, and the 7's good. I'm sure the 8 will be good. The Ultra is obviously bananas. And so I'm hoping that the battery life won't be that big of an impact. But again, like you said, it's only on the Pros. The Pros are the bigger phones. I guess they're the same size now, but like there's no mini. So hopefully it will be negligible, whatever difference that makes.
So some feedback. Action mode up to 2.8K at 60 frames per second. So it sounds like it is a unique mode, sadly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it'd be nice if the quick take video would be action mode, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe, you know, situational, throw it in there. Macro video recording is I guess that's not new. Yeah. Is 1 terabyte new this year on the phones?
I think that was last year they added that.
Okay.
So, and they kept the 128 model around. I think there were some rumors that it was going to start at 256.
Yeah, that was alongside the pricing rumors that everything's just going to be more expensive.
Yep.
It wasn't.
But it wasn't.
They played it. They heard the rumors and kind of made a nod to that. I think it's like they had something like at the same. I don't know. It sounded like they knew that people were talking about that.
They did very explicitly note that it was the same price.
Yes, like
in a way that I don't remember them doing other years, because it's been a $999 starting for the Pro for years. So
yeah. So anything else on the 14 or 14 Pro worth mentioning?
I think we hit on everything. The purple looks great. The safety stuff again that we kind of talked about with the Apple Watch Ultra. Car crash detection is coming to the phone as well, so you actually don't need to get the Series 8 or the SE. So your Series 7 or older won't have car detection. But if your phone has, or I guess no, it's only the new iPhone, so this isn't coming to like all iOS 16s. But
right.
Anyway, if you buy a new device this year, you're getting car crash detection. And the emergency SOS via satellite thing. So yeah, I mean, I think the Pro is obviously the star of the show this year. The 14 and the Series 8, I feel like they were talking about things. They were filling some time with things that all iPhones have, or that devices last year had as well. But yeah, the Pro is definitely the bigger jump. But I mean, the 14 is still solid. Like, it's still a very good phone. I think people who buy it will be very happy with it. It's just not the thrilling update that we sometimes get with the iPhone.
Yeah. What are your plans as far as purchases, if any?
So my plan, no Apple Watch this year.
Yep.
Which is the first time since ever I haven't bought a new Apple Watch.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just don't need it. It's
yeah,
too
and you
good.
can't. Yeah, you're not an adventurer to justify the big.
Not an adventurer. I don't really do reviews of the hardware anymore. And yeah, so no reason to get one. My wife is getting one, but that's her purchase, not mine.
Yes. It'd be a Series 8 for her.
She'll get a Series. She's coming from the Series 4 up to the Series 8.
So that'll be big, nice jumps. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do plan on getting the new 14 Pro, and I don't know if I'm going to get the Max or not. I don't know.
Sure. Okay.
I don't like the size.
Yeah, they're big.
But I love the battery.
How long?
And this,
yeah. I mean, the regular battery's probably good, but not crazy good. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it because I never have to think about. I never think about my battery dying, no matter how much I use my phone. It's never a thing I have to consider.
It's the battery thing's funny because like me as a main person, I don't have a big battery, but like external battery packs have never been cheaper and easier to just have with you. Like it seems like. Why do I like it? I know it's nice, but it's like, oh man, battery external power is not a hard thing at this point in our existence. Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Like it's like, why do you, I just don't like having to worry about it.
Yeah,
I
get it. Yeah,
I don't have to pack it. I went on a day trip a couple weeks ago. Went out of town on like Saturday night. Came back Sunday afternoon. Didn't pack any.
I mean, you could probably go on a weekend trip with the Pro Max if you're being judicial and put in low power mode.
But that's the thing. No low power mode. Don't have to worry
for
about
a whole
it.
weekend. I mean, like Friday to like Monday or something. You could probably be good without a battery pack or anything.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, if you're careful.
Yeah, but it's.
But the battery life is just crazy in those things. Yeah, so
yeah,
I get
it.
Yeah. It's $100. What's $100? You know.
I know. I mean, when you're already spending that much, yes.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, I should mention. I love that the Explorer, the Ultra, It's just $7.99. There's one price point they're selling that thing for. All the bands, everything's it's just $7.99. Which I spent that much on the Stainless because I had a better band. But yeah, you can't buy it for any more or any less.
Yeah,
It
you're
would
right.
appear.
They're all cellular. There's one color.
Yeah, there's.
Take it or leave it.
It is the Apple Watch that has the least thinking involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just choose what band you want with it. That's the only option.
And they're all the same price as far as the bands. Like
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and they're $100, which is kind of like their standard band price.
Yeah, outside the $50 cheapos.
Yeah, they have the cheapos and the expensive ones, but like most of them are $100
now.
They used to be like $150, which was a little much.
Yeah,
and
the
like
Milne's
2 years ago,
is the Milne's Loop still $150, or did that drop
those
down? Yeah,
that's
okay.
100 as well. Yeah,
that's $100 now. Okay. And yeah, I mean that seems that's great. So yeah, I'm gonna we have an 11 in the house. I'm gonna try to have that person upgrade.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. And then I may want to pass along my 12 mini to someone that could use an upgrade. That likes small phones. I have an SE now, and I'm gonna try to see if I can make to get the 13 mini is my goal. I'm not sure how that will go over upgrading that phone, but you can buy the 13 mini for $100 off its original price in all the storage sizes and colors. And my big conundrum is red or that hot green. Like the red is great, the green is also great. I mean, so that's my conundrum and then I think I'll get the 512 gigs and go big with the final small premium phone. Okay.
Just go all the way.
Yeah.
On the last mini.
The last mini, $899 is that price point. I hate that's a $699 to $899 jump for that 256 to 512 jump.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I have the 256, which was the previous highest for the mini.
Okay.
But
yeah, they still have the 12 starting at $599.
They still have the 12. The 12 mini is dead.
But no mini.
In America, I've heard from those internationally that the 12 mini exists in those markets where I think probably because things are getting more expensive, that I guess there was only a €30 drop or a pound drop. I'm not sure what the currency was, but there was not as big of a drop in price from to yesterday to today over there. So I think the 12 mini exists in different markets where it makes sense. But yeah, you get the SE at $429, then $599. Is that right? Yeah, $599 or $499 for, I don't know. There's a wide range of phones. Let's just put that way.
There's an iPhone for every price point now.
Yeah. But I was so late when the 13 minute. It's like, please, Apple, don't kill the 13 mini. Let's have that stick around. I wonder what are your predictions, Matt? How long will the 13 mini stick around for another year past this? Like when they introduce the 15s, will we still have the 13? Like we have the 12 now, no 12 mini. I wonder if they'll keep this 13 mini around for a while or not.
I have nothing but. I would be shocked if you can still buy the 13
next year.
13 mini after the 15 is announced.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah,
I know people love it. I think it's a real low seller.
It is. Yeah, I've heard from people that work in Apple stores like, we don't sell any of those things.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
People love it. That doesn't mean it's bad.
They do. They love it, but it doesn't sell. Yeah. People want big phones. I don't get it. It doesn't even fit in your hand anymore. I don't know.
I know it's stupid. These phones are stupid.
Yeah, like I want to be able to hold. Like I've got pretty big hands. I want to be able to hold a phone from top to bottom. Because that it can't fall out of my. You can do that.
No, not even close.
No, yeah. Because I like I'm not going to drop it if I can grab it from the bottom and top at the same time. I'm not doing the wiggle thing either, where I'm like trying to jimmy up to get to the top.
Oh
yeah. The jimmy.
Shift it up to your phone.
Yeah.
Your hand and it down. Yeah. Yeah, you suffer through it. Did I mention the battery is insane?
Yes. And I'm so envious of these camera systems on these newer phones. Yeah. I really want a 14 Pro, but it's so big. I don't know. What? Yeah. It's the conundrum because I love the mini, and it's like I was just thinking maybe 13 mini, and I'll just get the best last mini phone.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that 14 looks so good. Like always on display, promotion. Like it's a lot of things in that 14 Pro.
Yeah, promotion is another thing. I wouldn't be able to go back from once you have it. You notice 60 hertz on other ones. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
it's fine, but it's not what I'm used to. I had this with the iPad as well. I tried to go down to the iPad Air, and it was everything was fine except for the
promotion.
This no promotion.
Yeah,
yep.
I love it on the iPad. Like it's So okay, yeah, and I think that's it. Anything else?
No, that was a marathon.
It was, yeah.
It was a good event, though.
About as long as Apple did, I must say, an hour 30 or so. Is that how long the show was? I think it was.
It was just over 90 minutes. Yeah.
I was surprised how long it's like. This is a long show for. I mean, they had a lot to say with Apple Watch and the phones and stuff.
Yeah, they got to like the 52-minute mark before we got to the iPhone segment. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
Because I think it's usually been a little over an hour the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So like this was a long one.
Yeah.
And no iPad, not a single mention of the iPad, not a single mention of the Mac, not a single AR or VR thing.
No.
Like, yeah, it was
just tight.
Watch the AirPods and the iPhones.
They didn't mention iOS, but that's launching on Monday, I guess.
Yep. WatchOS 2.
Yep. I am very excited to install the watch. It sounds like the watch got all sorts of stuff that was not in the beta cycles. I'm very excited to install that and start playing around.
Yeah, WatchOS is very good. The workouts and improvements, we definitely don't have time to get into it, but the workout improvements are very good this year.
Yeah. And it was a good show. It just kept on going.
And it just kept on going. I like it. I like a lot.
It was good. It was a nice long show. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Like, let me just ease in. Again, we get these twice a year, 3 times a year at most. Like, let's enjoy it. Let's see what they have to
Absolutely.
show.
Well, where can people find your awesome videos and what you're up to online?
Yeah. So, a couple places you can check me out. YouTube is the best place for most of what I'm doing these days. A better computer is the YouTube channel. You can find that on YouTube. And my personal website is birchtree.me, where I write about tech stuff. And then I'm on Twitter at Matt Birchler, and I'm at all those places almost every day. So you can find me anywhere.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for your time, spending just as long as the Apple keynote was to talk about all this awesome stuff.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, there's been a discussion with Matt all about Apple's September 2022 event. Lots of great stuff announced here, and it was a lot of fun to talk with Matt about all of this. Make sure to check out Matt's YouTube channel, A Better Computer. And my thanks again to Matt for his time recording this episode. You can support the podcast over at patreon.com/iPadPros or by subscribing in Apple Podcasts. And with that, I'll talk to everyone again real soon.